Welcome to Karelia. Now, this map is all situated around this side of the map. Why? Well, you can push this side, but if you actually want to try and push this, you're going to be met with all kinds of TDs and any other tanks that are going to be camping around this side of the map. Now, it's not really a great position to be in over this side, especially when you don't have that many people with you. And the majority of people are going to be down on this side of the map. Once you try and win this location, if you do win, you've got to cross a lot of open field to try and get into the either side of the base. So it's not really worth it to try and push this unless you know that there's not many people over here and you can actually win this. That's why you'll see a lot of people go down to this location, or they'll be sitting around base still because they're just going to catch out anyone that's pushing over here and anyone that wants to try and push through the middle of the map early on to try and catch them out. Now, TDs will be sitting around here and around here. Heavy tanks around here, and medium tanks and faster heavy tanks will try and push the hill. Now, if you win the hill, you can dominate anything over the middle of the map. And also anyone that's trying to get a flanking maneuver going over this side. So winning the hill is actually quite important. If you win the hill, then you can not only control this bit, but also this bit of the map. And you can easily spot the people, but be warned, if you do get spotted, then anyone that's sitting around here or around here will easily have shots on you. So it is a pretty open position. So you just keep that in mind when you are trying to spot from there or shooting from there. But that being said, let's now move into the spots and I'll explain the map a bit more over each spot. Okay, let's start off with the light tanks, as we always do. Now, light tanks, you're going to want to try and... Well, the first spot is going to be an active spot. Now, there are a few bushes around here that you can go in, although I'm not going to show you all of them because, as you can see, there's loads. So you can find a bush that works for you and just use that from now on. But anywhere around here, just try and get some active spots and then back off straight away. As you can see, the little micro mouse, he's been spotted straight away. So, you know, this spot does work, especially early on in the game. As you can see, that's a default spawn. So they'll be anywhere around here for the spawning. So straight away, you can go there, sorted. You've got some early spots. Okay, so spot number 2. Now, the first clip didn't have any like tank audio, so I apologise for that, but it doesn't really matter. Spot number 2, up on the hill. Now, this is going to apply for medium tanks and faster heavy tanks. You want to just go straight up here. Now, if you are in a medium tank, then you might want to hold around here, because once you actually get up here, if you've been spotted, anything that's over this bit of the map, like a TD or whatever, all the way over there, they'll have straight shots on you. So if you've been spotted, hold back a little bit, wait until you get unspotted, and then go and move somewhere. I would advise trying to stay over your side of the map. By that I mean, let's go and hug this wall, and then move around. If you still... Obviously, if you get spotted and there's someone right there, then don't try and do this, but any bushes around here are great for spotting. You can go into any one of these, as I've said, and you just go into this, and as long as you don't over-peak this, you should be good. As you can see, you can even double bush, back off, shoot through it, then go and do the spotting again. So this spot's very nice. It works for both sides. Just do exactly the same thing. The same for basically any spot that I show you. Unless I say they will only work for this side of the map, then it will work for both sides. So exact same for the active spot. You can go straight away from this side of the map, straight up there. The same for this. You go around here. If you're not getting spotted, then you can continue. If you do get spotted, then back off, wait, and then come up. Now, the last spot that I will show you for the light tanks is this bush here. Now, you can get into this bush early on in the game, and then you'll be able to spot anyone that's trying to push up through here. Just be warned that they might get spotted a little bit late, because as you can see, the view range, it goes off the map a little bit, but then you can still see that there's a little bit there. But majority of the time, they're not going to be that close to the edge of the map. Now, there is a few other bushes that you can go to. For example, any of these bushes really, they do work. This bush works. So as long as there's no one to your right or left, you can actually get into this bush pretty comfortably. And then you can actually spot pretty much anyone that's in front of you. Just be warned that the back does stick out. So if there's anyone that's, you know, going through the middle of the map, they might spot you. So keep that in mind. But if you want to kind of play, like, you know, bit of your life on the edge, then you can go into this bush. If not, then this bush works amazingly, because this bush here is like the god tier bush. you go into this bush, as long as there's literally no one around you, you will be able to spot anyone that is pushing up here, anyone that is camping at the back here. Obviously there's a bush in the way of the little micro mouse, as we can see. He's roughly around there. But anyone that's camping around here in these bushes, as soon as they shoot, you will spot them. You can even move up to this bush over here later on in the game. But there's plenty of bushes over this side of the map, so if you are not the only light tank in your team, or you're a slower light tank, maybe one of these bushes will help you out early on in the game to give you a little bit of an advantage over your other light tanks. Okay, now medium tanks. Now I am going to show you over this side of the map because it can work sometimes. You just need to be really aware of the map, and if you notice that your team is losing over here, it's worth it to go back rather than trying to push forwards. So this side can work, it's just that you need to really be aware of what's happening on your team. But medium tanks, you can go over to the hill, that's no problem, I've already shown you that. Just go exact same route as the light tanks, and just be prepared that if you get spotted you need to wait. But yeah, medium tanks, there's plenty of ridge lines over here that you can go to. As long as you have some gun depression, you can deal with them. Around here you need to be careful because this is the rock that everyone will meet you at, or if not, then you're going to use this rock to meet the enemies, which are going to be roughly around here. So most of the time you're going to meet the enemies around this rock, and they're going to have this side, you're going to have this side, so you're going to use this ridge line as your advantage. If you're in a UDES or something like that, then you can actually, you know, use your gun depression to help you out over this ridge line. But once you do win this side, then you can actually use this bit of location over here to try and snipe some people that you can see, or if anyone's been spotted. There's plenty of locations that you can peek out from here. So this side of the map, as I've said, you do need to be careful. If you are losing the other side of the map, chances are that the enemy are either going to fall back, or in most of the likely case, they're going to push forwards to your base. So if you're losing over here and you see that everyone's died, it's worth it to try and pull back, or at least wait until you know that for sure there's nothing over here. Then go back and try and, you know, help your team out. Because it's not really worth pushing this, especially if you've been spotted, to push this, because you're going to get absolutely slaughtered as soon as you try and push for open ground. Okay, so the heavy tanks. Now, the heavy tanks, as I've already said, are going to be fighting around this position here. Now, if you do get lucky enough to have a non-artillery battle, you can go down into here, which I'll show you in a second. But just around here is where you want to be, pushing backwards and forwards. You'll be able to easily spot anyone that's over here. The only people that you won't really spot is anyone sitting over by this rock. So you need to watch out for TDs that are over there. Just be careful of them, because they will be there and they won't get spotted as they fire. Not unless someone has already moved forwards and is in a position to spot them. So just around here, you can't really play this wrong, because you just sit there and just go backwards and forwards and just shoot as and when you can. But in this position down here, if you get lucky enough to get a non-artillery battle, and you're in a good hold down tank, anywhere along this ridgeline is amazing. Like, you can peek up here, as long as you have more gun depression than a 277, but you know, that's not really hard to beat, because this has like -2 or something, or -3. Yeah, so you can go along this bit. Something like a Conqueror here would be good. You can even push up a little bit further, as long as you know that no one's looking. Because I say no one's looking, if there's people there, it's not the end of the world, because you can get this rock behind you, and then you can use this location here. Even with a 277 this works, but you need to be careful again of the people behind this rock, because they can easily shoot you. So anywhere around here is good. You can even do the exact same on the other side of the map. You just come here, you can either go, you know, wait here or around here, shoot the enemy, or you can push up. You can get hold down behind here, and then you can use this rock as your cover from the hill. So yeah, lots of different positions that work. The exact same position that I showed you over there is right here, where you can actually shoot on the corner. But again, you need to be careful of anyone that's sitting over there, and TDs and whatnot. But all the time, be careful of TDs. You can go over to the top of the map if you really want to. For example, if there's a lot of a lot of friendly tanks going up here, then it might be wise for you to go with them, because as long as they all push at the same time, you should win. You're going to have the numbers advantage, so you need to, you know, if you have a lemming train going all the way up here, it's best to follow the lemming train, because the last thing you want to do is be on your own. So yeah, that's heavy tanks. Let's now move on to TDs, and yeah, that's all there is for heavy tanks. Let's now move on to TDs. Okay, so finally the TDs. Now, I'm not going to show you each side of the map for the bases, because they are pretty self-explanatory. Like, you just go and find a bush, and as long as you can have line of sight onto over here or around here, you're good. You can even find bushes that you can even shoot onto the hill from. So it's pretty self-explanatory of where to go. You just need to find a bush that works. But around here, you have great cover. And you can easily shoot on anyone that's been spotted over there. You can even back off behind this rock as safe cover. The only thing you need to worry about really is artillery from this location, because they will be able to shoot you, unlike the heavy tanks that are sitting on this corner. So over here is great. You can also go back a little bit further. So if there's friendlies sitting around here, then you can go back, and there's room for quite a few TDs in this position. So it's not like it's a crowded place. But yeah, let's quickly switch over to the other side. And as you can see, it's pretty much the exact same spot, but just over the other side of the map. Now, as you have loads and loads of vision over here. And you can also use this rock to your advantage, because you can go around here, shoot anyone that is around here or here. You know, keep peeking backwards and forwards, being annoying, and use the rock as cover as and when you can. So that's pretty much TDs. There are other spots that you can go to that I've already said about, but that's Karelia. Now, there isn't too much that you need to kind of think about in Karelia. It's just make sure you're looking at the map and you know what's happening. Because if you don't look at the map on this map in particular, and you go somewhere like up here and then your team loses, or you're over here and your team, you can see that everyone's dying and they're pushing this hard, then you need to fall back. Either side, keep an eye on the map and make sure that you know what's going on. But that goes for pretty much every map in the game. You need to keep map awareness up at all times. But there you go. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, then please come join my Discord. I also stream on Twitch. I also have a Patreon. Don't really promote it that much, but if you want to feel like, you know, giving something to me donation wise, then you can. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.